Suicune here. I love Suicune. I think this is one of my favorite champions. Very pretty, Ice Doggy. And when you take a peek, moveset, yeah, Suicune's moveset is pretty clear, right? So basic attack, when your crystal gauge is full, your next basic attack becomes a boosted attack. Boosted attacks shoot water continuously and deal damage to frozen opposing Pokemon, additional damage. Pressure, this Pokemon deals damage to a frozen Pokemon on the opposing team whose HP is below a set percentage, that Pokemon is instantly knocked out. So executes, really good, right? When this Pokemon uses a move, it's granted a shield and its crystal gauge increases. This shield can stack up to 2 times. When this Pokemon uses Whirlpool or Surf, the area the move passes through will become flooded. If the Pokemon freezes a flooded area, opposing Pokemon in the flooded area will also be frozen. So you basically put down a lot of like debuffs and you put like stacks on people, and then you pop those stacks to freeze them and CC them. Water Pulse starts well. You fire Water Pulse in designated direction, deal damage to the Pokemon and shoving them. Also marks the opposing Pokemon by leaving them drenched, right? Easier to freeze. Whirlpool's cool, but I like Surf more. But Whirlpool, as you generate a vortex of water at a designated location, deal damage to opposing you deal damage to opposing Pokemon, pulling them towards the center. Alright, so Whirlpool is cool. Has the user generate a vortex of water at the designated location, dealing damage to opposing Pokemon, pulling them towards its center. And you leave them drenched. If the move is used again, the vortex is moved to the designated direction, flooding the area it passes through. Upgrade reduces cooldown. Surf, this is one I like. You create a really big wave in the designated direction, dealing damage to and shoving opposing Pokemon it hits and leaving them drenched. The area the wave passes through becomes flooded. If the wave hits a pillar of ice created by Icy Wind, the pillar breaks, dealing damage to opposing Pokemon it hits. Upgrade increases the damage dealt by this move. So Surf is good. You push people out of the way. You do like a big AoE of your like flooded area, so it's easier to freeze people. And then next move, starter, is Avalanche. User makes snow continually fall in an area, deal damage, and apply a slow effect to the Pokemon it hits. At the end of the move, the user drops a clump of snow, leaving flooded areas frozen. Also, if opposing Pokemon are drenched when they hit, they are left frozen. So this helps to pop your debuff to make people stunned, right? Ice Beam, user fires an icy beam of energy in the designated direction, dealing damage and applying a slowing effect to the Pokemon it hits. If the opposing Pokemon are drenched when hit, they are left frozen. If this move hits a flooded area, that area becomes frozen. A maximum of 2 uses can be kept in reserve for this move. You upgrade, strengthens the slowing effect applied by the move. Alright? And then Icy Wind. I like Icy Wind a little bit more. Has the user blow a gust of freezing air at the designated direction, applying a slowing effect to opposing Pokemon it hits. Once the freezing air builds up, it creates a pillar of ice, dealing damage and applying a slowing effect to opposing Pokemon it hits. After a short time, the pillar of ice breaks, dealing damage to nearby Pokemon. The pillar of ice is created in a flooded area. That area becomes frozen. So if you apply it into an area that's flooded already, instant big freeze. You can have a maximum of 2 uses can be kept in reserve for this move. Upgrade, reduce the move's cooldown. And then the big one is Endless Spikes. Big AoE stun. So this move can be used while the user is affected by hindrances, and when it is, all status conditions on you are removed, so it cleanses you. You have the user create ice spikes in the designated direction, dealing damage to opposing Pokemon. They hit and leaving them frozen. After a short time, the ice spikes explode, dealing damage to opposing Pokemon they hit. And then for held items, we go for choice specs for additional damage on move hits and more special attack. Shell Bell for some HP back when you hit with a move with a little bit of cooldown. And then Vanguard Bell, massive amount of HP, but then you also restore 10% of your HP when you stun, freeze, knock back enemies. So tons of healing, right? Then for the Pokemon boost emblems, right? For me, this is like my standard special attack build, but you focus on getting 6 green, so you have more special attack, 6 white for more HP, and then if you have either defense or special defense, that is a nice thing to increase too. We have a couple things with black for movement cooldown. If you can, for Suicune, you do want to kind of stack as much movement cooldown as possible. but it's not the most necessary because you're just pretty solid overall and you survive very well. So after that, let's go play a game and we'll see how it works out. Right? So let's hit License Journey, Unite Battle, and we're gonna go casual. So yeah, we got some Suicune in here. I love this champ. It's so good to like be in lane and survive. And then you end up just doing so much CC. So out of anything with Suicune, like just the fact that you're doing such insane CC is going to be the highlight of this champ, because like if other characters don't play it, they're not going to be used to like how much Suicune's going to be just making them stun like constantly. And you start off with like pretty good health too. So like right here, early game, we're 1v2ing pretty handedly. Our lane partners going in. We'll see if we can. Okay, so then we want to push people away so that we're safe. Right, so the knockback is really good. It helps you survive really well. And let's get a berry. And let's just focus on leveling up, because Suicune's good kit early on, but really shines when you end up getting your different abilities. All right, sweet. Let's poke them back. There we go. Level up. And I think we want to get to level 5. Yo, good job on Dratini. Like, getting in there and just chunking them, yo. There we go. Alright, let's dunk. Get the points while we can. Yo, hell yeah, you're level 6 already? See, that's really good. Sweet, so now we have Surf. Since we have Surf, like, the whole game's gonna change a little bit, because they're just gonna be stunned now. And they won't be able to really, like, counteract that stun all the time, like, too easily. Yep, see, so then we're here, and then once we get our other move too, it's gonna be really gross, like in a good way, right? So we're here, and we're just, even early on like this, you can see that we are just like stun locking the hell out of this enemy team. Right, and then we just put down our AoEs, we put down our surfs, they get that frozen area, and they're just locked down for a second. And then because we're using the Vanguard Bell, we're getting so much HP back. And then the reach on surf is really good. So here we have our Icy Wind. So we spawn crystals, and the crystals do a lot of damage on their own. But the crystals plus the surf, that's how we just got a double kill right there. And then see this thing, we just knock them back, we put up walls, and we just chunk them with these icy crystals. So we can go down and we can take care of jungle mobs like really well on our own. And so we'll take care of this Dreadnought, and we'll get an XP buff and a shield for our team. But right, so we have that glowy area, we freeze, and then they're really low level now, so they're going to try to come down and fight, but they really can't, right? And then the fact that they're getting so CC'd, and then the cool part is like Suicune just has a built-in execute. So if you can survive and get them low, like, you're gonna win that team fight. And the fact that you can stun mobs, you're just very survivable because of all the CC. But the fact that now you can get health back with Vanguard Bell off the CC, plus we're using Shell as well. So we're just getting so much HP back from playing. So Suicune's labeled All-Rounder, which is pretty fair. You're a bit oh, I didn't even use my ability, but you're a bit beefy. But you're not like a tank, but you don't really have a moveset or an engage or a dash, but that's fine because you're like Blastoise, you're doing so much CC and like rearranging the team fight in the battlefield that you're just like super set. And like, I mean, there's a Squirtle on the enemy team and we're just like trouncing them so much that they're not able to level up. And like, you know, Blastoise is one of the characters that can give Suicune a pretty good CC, like a pretty good counter pick for Suicune. But same thing, like if we're able to get them down and they're not leveling up, then they're just going to be stunned. They're going to be like stunted even just because they're not getting any health. So like, look, you know, Garchomp like running in and wanting to do damage, but he gets just stunned right away, so his move gets interrupted. Usually a really, really scary character, right? And then we can sit here, we do our stuns, we do our moves. See, even the mobs get stunned. And there we go. So upgrade our surf. You know, we can put some points in here real quick. There we go. Huge lead, which is really good. Really good team comp right now. Our Venusaur up top is kind of shredding, which is really nice. And then let's take a peek at this Rotom, and we'll take care of him. Do 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 boop boop. Boop 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 boop. Alright, sweet. So there we go. Throw down crystal. Throw down more crystals, right? And even being able to CC and stun these jungle bosses like this, like, that's really powerful with how much we just prevent them from activating and prevent them from hurting us. And we have really good HP. Alright, so we're gonna freeze him, and now we're gonna, yep, so all done. So ultimate move is just an instant freeze, big damage, and then the fact that we get to do that, like, good job on Venusaur too, being a G. But we get to, like, just CC people so much, and it's very rewarding. So let's see, did they, yep, they cleared it out. Cool. And we've got, oh, we got like a minute and 45 seconds left, so let me see if I can dunk this early. Yeah, sweet. So we dunked early, they're distracted. There we go. Alright, they don't know what they're doing. They got frozen. And sweet. Yeah, Suicune just turns everybody into a TV dinner, dude. Cool. Alright, so now they got a Blastoise. It's gonna be tougher, but still. We comboed on them, stunned them. They used their moves on our Dragonite. So when we came in, like, they couldn't interrupt us, and we just got them CC'd down. Right, and then here, Gengar, like, right, so just frozen immediately. And then we have to use our moves in succession. And just able to survive through them. So that's someone who's used to, you know, running in like a jungler, an assassin, they want to burst all your moves. If you can CC them real quick, you interrupt them, you take them down to like half health or less, then they're messed up, and then you can easily get a kill on them. Their cooldowns are on, they didn't do any damage, and then you're just stuck in the middle of a fight. So let's see here. Alright, so it's probably going to be pretty early. Probably won't have enough time to get Rotom, at least not by ourselves. Ooh, so there's a team fight. Let's see if we can go help kill a couple people before the Zapdos get spawned. Right, so... Ooh, almost. Oh, there we go, hell yeah! Alright, and then good job from our Dragonite. So now we can go get Zapdos, and we're gonna be in a much stronger position and not be worried about people coming ganking us, right? So we got a nice huge lead. There's a Gengar going. He wants to try to, like, take it a little bit, but he's not going to get anything. Let's stun them and mess them up, right? There we go. There we go. Perfect, amazing. And there's even extra stuff there. So we use our ultimate move. We were going to save that. Dragonite came in. They slammed down. Great combo there. And then now we can get to just go dunk in like 300 points or so. Oh, come on, dude. They're doing a good job of trying to hold us off. But let me dunk. Dunks. Sweet. I at least got that through. I don't care if I die. That's totally fine because we dunked them down and we stunned them a little bit, so we were able to get the points in. And now our Dragonite homie was just like taking care of everything while we were respawning. So, you know, they've only got 50 seconds left. You know, they could do a miracle where they all have maximum points. They go split up, take all our zones. But even then, I think we're far enough ahead where it's probably just almost impossible for them to catch up. But I mean, hey, it's good that they're still trying, right? It's good that they're still pressing. And I think that's an interesting thing I've always seen with casuals, is like casual games, like are so rare you see the enemy team surrender. There's like, dude, we're here for 10 minutes. Like, we can fight and hang out and just have fun. But if you do a lot of ranks, you'll sometimes see like enemy teams or your team will like want to like surrender at like the 4-minute mark. Like the 4 minutes in and they're like, oh, we already like lost these goals. There's no coming back. So I think like that's an interesting thing about ranked is that like sometimes people give up a little too quickly. But yeah, dude, Panda, that was sweet. You shredded as Dragonite, bro. That was good. Yeah, but yeah, for real, there's no reason for like hate or rage, right? Yeah, GG, that was super solid. That was super good. Oh, that was good. I thought we might have got over like 1K there. Yo, you got 27 takedowns? Oh my god. Yo, let's check the damage. What did you get? So you did like 133K. That's really good. I did about 82K. So we were just shredding. You did a lot of recovery. That's really sweet. You took a lot of damage. I didn't see you go down a lot, but like you were balling, bro. You were balling. So nice details, and then let's see. All right, so good job. Yeah, our team did really well. The enemy team was good, and like good on them for not like giving up. I do know sometimes it's that thing of like, yo, if, you know, we take over bottom lane so hard, like, you know, they can't come back because they're just stunted on their levels and everything. So it's tougher. You went down once at the end and give people time to come back. Yeah, I appreciate it. And I like doing that too. Like if it's really close to it and it's like crunch time, like if I dunked or if I know I'm holding the enemy team on their home base for like 20 or 30 seconds, that's a lot of time they're not spending scoring.